The flash of cameras fills the air. Reporters shout, fans scream, and the red carpet glows under 1,000 lights. Standing together, smiling and waving, Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio share a brief embrace, the kind that instantly sends the internet into a frenzy. After all these years, they still have that same unspoken connection that made the world fall in love with Jack and Rose. Their reunion feels like a moment frozen in time, like two old friends who never truly drifted apart. Two of Hollywood's greatest stars, whose on-screen romance became a cultural landmark and whose off-screen friendship has quietly outlasted nearly every rumor, headline, and heartbreak. Titanic made them legends, but what it couldn't capture was a real story, the laughter between takes, the years of unwavering support, and a bond that never needed to be romantic to be extraordinary. For decades, fans have asked the same question. What really happened between Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio? Were they ever more than friends? Did the chemistry we saw on screen spill into real life? Or is the truth something even more powerful, a friendship built on trust, respect, and shared history? Today, we finally have the answer. After years of silence, Kate Winslet has opened up, speaking with honesty and warmth about Leonardo DiCaprio, the man she's called her closest friend for over 25 years. It's a confession not of romance, but of something deeper, loyalty, gratitude, and the kind of connection that fame can't fake. In this video, we go beyond the tabloid rumors and nostalgic headlines to uncover the real story of Kate and Leo. We'll revisit their first meeting, explore the magic they created together on Titanic, examine how their friendship evolved through fame and distance, and discover what Kate has just revealed about Leo. Words that may finally settle one of Hollywood's most enduring mysteries. Because sometimes, the greatest love story isn't romantic at all. It's built on friendship, trust, and a bond that never fades, no matter how many years go by. In the mid-1990s, two young actors stood on the edge of greatness, neither knowing that a single film would change their lives forever. Kate Winslet, born in Reading, England, had already begun to make her mark with performances in Heavenly Creatures and Sense and Sensibility. She was known in the industry for her emotional depth and determination. At just 20, she'd already proven she could hold her own alongside veteran stars. Across the Atlantic, a 21-year-old Leonardo DiCaprio was carving a similar path. After starting in television, he'd stunned critics with raw performances in What's Eating Gilbert Grape and The Basketball Diaries. Both were talented, ambitious, and unafraid to chase roles that demanded more than just good looks. They wanted truth. Then came Titanic. Director James Cameron's ambitious historical romance needed two leads who could carry the emotional weight of one of the most expensive productions in history. For the role of Rose DeWitt Bukater, Kate Winslet was relentless. She famously sent Cameron a note saying, "You don't understand. I am Rose." Her passion convinced him she was right. For Jack Dawson, the free-spirited artist, the studio wanted someone young yet magnetic. Leonardo DiCaprio walked into his audition, and within minutes, Cameron knew he'd found his Jack. What no one could predict was a spark that ignited the moment Leo and Kate met. On set, the chemistry was undeniable. But it wasn't about romance. It was laughter, teasing, and instant comfort. The Titanic shoot was notoriously grueling. Freezing water tanks, endless hours, and technical chaos. Cameron's perfectionism pushed everyone to the edge. Amid that chaos, Kate and Leo became each other's support system. Kate would later say that Leo was her closest friend from those days, someone who made her laugh when exhaustion threatened to break her. Their bond grew from shared struggle, not glamour. When Titanic finally premiered in December 1997, it didn't just make history. It defined a generation. The film shattered box office records, won 11 Academy Awards, and transformed its young stars into global icons overnight. The media obsession was instant. Fans around the world were convinced their on-screen love must be real. Every glance, every red carpet moment, every laugh between them fueled speculation. But behind the flashbulbs and headlines, something more lasting was quietly forming. A genuine friendship, built in the storm of fame, that neither of them would let go of. When Titanic swept the world in 1997, it wasn't just a film. It was an emotional experience shared by millions. Jack and Rose became symbols of young love, sacrifice, and timeless devotion. Fans didn't just fall for the story. They fell for the actors themselves. Across tabloids, interviews, and fan magazines, one question dominated. Are Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio in love in real life? The world wanted them to be the real-life Jack and Rose, destined, tragic, and somehow eternal. Every red carpet smile or playful exchange became evidence. When they laughed together, fans saw flirtation. When they hugged, it was treated like a confession. Hollywood hadn't just created a movie, it had accidentally created a myth. But behind that myth, the truth was far more grounded, and in some ways, even more beautiful. Over the years, Kate Winslet has been remarkably honest about her bond with Leonardo DiCaprio. In interviews, she said clearly that they never fancied each other. It wasn't about attraction or mistiming. It simply never existed in that way. She even told one outlet that their enduring friendship worked precisely because there was never any romantic involvement. Without that tension, they could trust each other completely. Their connection was platonic, loyal, and based on shared respect. Kate has often said she sees Leo as family, someone she's grown up with, someone who knows her at her best and worst without judgment. Leonardo DiCaprio has echoed those same feelings time and again. He's called Kate one of my dearest friends, and described their bond as one built on ultimate trust. Whenever he speaks of her, there's affection in his words, but it's not romantic affection. It's the kind that comes from weathering storms together and knowing the other person always has your back. When they reunited in 2008 for Revolutionary Road, their chemistry was so intense that audiences once again speculated there had to be more. But both actors explained that their performances worked because of that deep familiarity. They trusted each other enough to explore emotional extremes without fear or awkwardness. The world often struggles to accept that a man and woman can share deep love without romance. Fans projected their desires onto Kate and Leo, wanting a fairy tale continuation of Jack and Rose's story. But the truth that their connection has no labels, no pretense, may be even more powerful. It shows that not all great love stories end in marriage or heartbreak. Some endure quietly, as lifelong friendship built on understanding and unshakable trust, the kind of bond that even Hollywood's brightest spotlight can't distort. When Titanic premiered in 1997, it didn't just redefine cinema, it defined an era. The film was more than a love story. It was a cultural phenomenon that catapulted Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio into superstardom. As Rose and Jack, they embodied two people from different worlds bound by love and tragedy, and the authenticity of their performances made audiences believe every tear, every laugh, every touch. Their chemistry was immediate and effortless, something neither rehearsed nor forced. Years later, Kate admitted that from the very first screen test, she felt an instant connection with Leo, a natural rhythm that made every scene between them feel alive. She told Entertainment Tonight that their bond was one of total trust, adding that they made each other laugh constantly on set. That joy, she said, was what audiences felt through the screen, the pure comfort and ease of two people who genuinely liked each other. But the making of Titanic wasn't glamorous. It was grueling, exhausting, and at times chaotic. Filming in freezing water tanks for hours, wearing heavy costumes, and working under James Cameron's famously demanding direction tested everyone involved. Through it all, Kate and Leo leaned on each other. She often joked that Leo was a rock during those long, difficult shoots. Their connection deepened not because of romance, but because they endured that experience side by side, as friends who understood each other's limits and pushed through together. When Titanic finally hit theaters, it became one of the most successful films of all time, earning over $2 billion and turning its young leads into global icons. Yet, while fame changed their lives, it never changed how they saw each other. More than a decade later, in 2008, they reunited for Revolutionary Road, directed by Sam Mendes, who was Kate's husband at the time. The film told a very different story from Titanic, one of marriage, disillusionment, and the slow decay of love. It was raw, emotional, and brutally honest. Kate reportedly championed the project, and even suggested Leo for the role of Frank Wheeler, believing no one else could play opposite her with the same honesty and depth. Their reunion was not nostalgic. It was transformative. After 10 years of growth, experience, and maturity, both actors brought new dimensions to their craft. Critics praised their performances, calling them fearless and heartbreakingly real. Still, portraying a couple trapped in emotional turmoil wasn't easy. Many of the film's scenes demanded vulnerability and confrontation that could easily test a friendship, but for Kate and Leo, it only reinforced their connection. They had an unspoken understanding on set, an awareness of where the line was between their characters and their real selves. Kate later revealed that she trusted Leo completely, even in the film's most intimate or volatile moments, because she knew he would never make her feel uncomfortable. Leo, in turn, described Kate as a kind of actor who gives everything in every take. Their ability to balance deep emotional performances with personal boundaries became a testament to their respect for one another. Through Titanic and Revolutionary Road, Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio explored love in two vastly different ways. One pure and youthful, the other fractured and adult. Yet off-screen, they continue to prove that their own relationship wasn't defined by the stories they told, but by the enduring friendship that allowed them to tell them so truthfully. Behind every picture-perfect moment from Titanic lies a story that fans rarely hear, one filled with laughter, exhaustion, and unexpected chaos. Kate Winslet recently shared a glimpse of those behind-the-scenes realities, describing the iconic kissing scenes between her and Leonardo DiCaprio as far from romantic. "It was a mess," she admitted in an interview with People. "The lighting, the camera angles, and the constant retakes made everything complicated. Worse yet, DiCaprio's makeup, a light tan to give him that windswept look, kept rubbing off on her face during each kiss. Between takes, Kate would rush to fix both their appearances, determined to make it look effortless on screen, what audiences saw as cinematic magic. She remembered as endless reshoots, smudge foundation, and uncontrollable laughter between two young actors trying to hold it together in front of James Cameron's demanding lens. That kind of honesty has always been part of Kate's charm. She never romanticized the experience. She humanized it. Over the years, she's spoken candidly about her friendship with Leonardo DiCaprio, often shutting down rumors while emphasizing the strength of their connection. In a 2019 interview, she laughed as she said, "We never fancied each other. It wasn't disappointment or tone. It was gratitude. Their friendship worked," she explained, "because there was never any romantic pressure between them. What developed instead was trust. The kind of trust that can only come from years of understanding and shared history." Kate has also reflected on how natural their on-screen chemistry felt from the very first moment. Speaking to Entertainment Tonight, she said that their connection was immediate and real, something that made performing together feel easy and alive. That authenticity wasn't an act. It was born out of comfort, shared humor, and deep respect. In recent years, as they've reunited at public events and premieres, that connection remains visible. Whether embracing on a red carpet or smiling through tearful tributes, they radiate a warmth that fans instantly recognize. At one reunion event, Kate hugged Leo tightly and told me felt like family. It wasn't scripted or staged. It was decades of friendship condensed into one genuine moment. So when people say Kate Winslet has finally spoken up about Leonardo DiCaprio, it isn't about exposing a secret. It's about reaffirming something she's been saying all along, that their bond is unique, sincere, and rooted in profound respect. Her words aren't meant to feed gossip. They serve as a reminder of what real connection looks like in an industry built on illusion. What Kate reveals isn't scandal, it's sincerity. It's gratitude for a friend who stood beside her through fame, family, and the passage of time. And maybe that's the part of the story the world needed to hear most. Over the decades, both Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio have grown into two of the most respected and versatile actors of their generation. After Titanic, their careers took separate yet equally powerful trajectories. Kate moved seamlessly between intimate dramas and big-budget productions, earning acclaim for films like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, The Reader, and Steve Jobs. She became known for choosing complex, emotionally rich roles rather than chasing box office formulas. Meanwhile, Leonardo DiCaprio evolved from heartthrob to heavyweight actor-producer, taking on daring projects such as The Aviator, Inception, The Revenant, and Killers of the Flower Moon. Each built a distinct identity. She the fiercely independent actress unafraid of vulnerability. He, the relentless perfectionist and environmental activist. But even as their paths diverged, one thread remained constant: their friendship. Maintaining a bond in Hollywood, especially one between two opposite-sex A-list stars, is nearly impossible under constant media scrutiny. Fame breeds distance, and schedules rarely align. Yet, Kate and Leo defied those odds. Despite years of working on different continents, they reportedly kept in touch through calls and messages, offering emotional support during milestones and challenges alike. When Kate won her Oscar in 2009, she thanked Leo publicly, her voice trembling with affection. "Leo, I'm so happy I can stand here and tell you how much I love you and how much I've loved you for 13 years. Their friendship also challenged one of Hollywood's most persistent myths, that men and women can't stay close without romance. In interviews, Kate has emphasized that their bond is purely platonic, rooted in deep trust and understanding. "We've been there for each other," she told Brit Plus Co., "in ways that people probably wouldn't imagine." Over the years, that mutual respect became a kind of anchor amid the chaos of their celebrity lives. And the public continues to witness glimpses of that loyalty. At red carpets and reunions, their warmth never feels forced. In November 2024, at a special screening of Kate's film Leonardo DiCaprio surprised her with an emotional introduction. He spoke about her unwavering authenticity and the way she brings truth to every character. When he finished, Kate walked on stage, teary-eyed, embraced him, and kissed him on the cheek. Cameras captured the moment. Two friends, now in their late 40s, sharing a genuine expression of pride and affection. What makes their connection so magnetic isn't nostalgia for Titanic, but the enduring respect they've carried through nearly 3 decades of fame, growth, and personal transformation. They've shown the world that love doesn't always have to be romantic to be profound. In an industry defined by fleeting relationships, there stands as a testament to the quiet, resilient power of true friendship, one that has survived the tides of time, gossip, and global fame. And maybe that's why fans still can't look away. Because in Kate and Leo, we see something that's become rare: loyalty without conditions, affection without agenda, and history without heartbreak. When Kate Winslet finally spoke up about Leonardo DiCaprio, it wasn't a bombshell confession. It was something more powerful: honesty. In her recent interviews, she didn't reveal a long-hidden romance or a shocking feud. Instead, she reaffirmed the truth that's quietly defined their relationship for over 25 years. When asked about Leo, Kate spoke with affection and gratitude, describing their bond as one built on deep trust and lifelong respect. She called him family, a word she has used before, but this time it carried a new emotional weight. After decades of fan theories and tabloid fantasies, she spoke not as Rose Dawson remembering Jack, but as a woman reflecting on a rare friendship that has survived fame, distance, and time. Kate's tone wasn't offensive or dismissive. It was warm and grounded. She reiterated that she and Leo never had a romantic relationship, emphasizing that this absence of romance is precisely what allowed their friendship to thrive. "It's extraordinary," she said, "because we've gone through so much of our lives together without it ever being about anything other than complete love and respect." Her words were steady, but beneath them was something heartfelt, a recognition that this kind of connection is almost unheard of in Hollywood. For fans, her statement brought a mix of emotions. Some were relieved to hear her reaffirm the purity of their friendship, seeing it as proof that genuine human bonds can exist in an industry often ruled by ego. Others felt a twinge of disappointment, still hoping that someday Jack and Rose might live on beyond fiction. But for most, her honesty resonated. Kate's words didn't feed the fantasy. They gave something better: reality and the beauty within it. The media, of course, did what it always does, amplifying snippets and spinning headlines like "Kate Winslet finally speaks up about Leonardo DiCaprio" to fuel clicks and curiosity. But if you listen closely to what she actually said, the message is simple and elegant: admiration, trust, and enduring affection. She wasn't unveiling a secret. She was reminding the world that some connections don't need to be romantic to be profound. This moment also speaks to a broader truth about celebrity culture. Audiences often crave scandal or fairy tales, But what Kate and Leo represent is something far more meaningful, a friendship that has evolved through decades of change, weathering fame without fading. Her words challenge how we, as viewers, perceive intimacy in the public eye. It's a quiet rebellion against the idea that every male-female bond must have romantic undertones. So yes, Kate Winslet finally spoke up, but not to surprise anyone. She spoke up to remind us that real loyalty still exists, even under the harsh lights of fame. And in doing so, she gave fans something rarer than a love story, a glimpse of enduring friendship, still shining after all these years. When we look at Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio's story, it becomes clear that it's not just about two movie stars. It's about redefining what friendship can look like under the heaviest spotlight in the world. For decades, the public wanted them to become a real-life Jack and Rose. The chemistry was so undeniable on screen that it seemed impossible it wasn't happening off it. But what Kate and Leo showed us, again and again, is that a deep emotional bond doesn't always need to be romantic to be real. Their connection proves that friendship, when built on trust, respect, and understanding, can last longer, shine brighter, and mean more than most fleeting Hollywood romances. There's also a powerful lesson in how they've handled the constant swirl of rumors. Since 1997, they've been chased by speculation, questioned in every interview, and analyzed by fans who read meaning into every glance and hug. Yet neither of them ever lashed out or played into the gossip. They stayed grounded, often laughing about it, choosing grace over confrontation. In an industry that rewards sensationalism, their silence spoke volumes. It showed that dignity can be the most effective response to noise, and that sometimes the best way to correct a story is to simply keep living the truth. Their loyalty is another lesson worth remembering. Fame often burns through friendships. People grow apart, egos get in the way, or life simply moves too fast. But Kate and Leo found a rhythm that worked, supporting each other quietly through career highs and personal lows, maintaining boundaries while never letting distance erase affection. They modeled what long-term friendship looks like when it's rooted in mutual respect rather than constant communication. Consistency, not proximity, is what keeps a bond strong. And then there's the way fans tell their own stories about stars. It's human nature to romanticize, to want the fairy tale to be real. When we watch Jack and Rose on that sinking ship, it feels like love that defies time and tragedy. But sometimes, what we project onto people says more about our desires than their reality. Kate and Leo's friendship reminds us to appreciate truth over fantasy, to respect what is instead of longing for what isn't. As creators and storytellers, that lesson matters deeply. In a digital world hungry for viral headlines, there's a fine line between sharing emotion and manufacturing drama. Kate Winslet didn't finally speak up to feed a headline. She spoke to honor authenticity. And in that honesty lies a real takeaway. That respect, loyalty, and genuine care can exist without romance. And that sometimes the most enduring love stories aren't love stories at all. They're friendships that survive everything, even time itself. From the decks of the Titanic to the red carpets of today, Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio's journey has spanned nearly 3 decades. A story built not on scandal or secret romance, but on unwavering friendship. They met as young actors in the mid-90s, became global icons overnight, and faced a tidal wave of speculation that never really stopped. Yet, through every headline, award show, and reunion, one truth has remained constant. Their bond isn't about love in a romantic sense. It's about loyalty, trust, and respect. Kate Winslet's recent comments didn't rewrite history. They reinforce what she and Leo have quietly shown the world all along. Speaking up didn't mean confessing a secret. It meant honoring the truth that's been hiding in plain sight. Her words remind us that not every connection needs to fit the narrative fans crave. Sometimes, the most powerful relationships are the ones that stay grounded in honesty, laughter, and mutual admiration, even when millions of people want to see something more. And maybe that's the real story here. Not just about Kate and Leo, but about us, the audience. Why do we want every friendship to be a love story? Why do we struggle to believe that two people can simply care for each other without the romance? If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of Hollywood's most genuine bonds, hit like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what's your idea of a legendary Hollywood friendship?